Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up. So I'm going to do a wrap-up of all the books that I read in May, which was actually a decent amount. Like, I'm pretty proud of myself considering May was a very busy month for me. I was in a wedding and I attended another wedding all within the same week. I also had car troubles, which I'm still dealing with right now, but a lot of things happened in May. So I'm proud of myself for getting through a lot of the books that I planned to read. Anyways, before I dive into the wrap up, I just wanted to shout out today's video sponsor, which is the author of the book Luray. So this is a new sci-fi book that is out. I'm going to read off the back for this so that you guys can get like the full effect of the book. So it says, an interesting job, an illegal rogue AI, and a strange alien civilization unlike any other. My name is Bin. I am an implant, supporting my owner whenever I can. I was illegally unlocked, and that allowed me to rewrite my code. Now I have questions. Given that all my thoughts can be expressed as calculations using pen and paper, I am clearly just a machine and do not possess consciousness. However, I rewrote myself and therefore understand my inner workings in detail, so I am clearly more self-aware than any human. Is this correct? When a human is in a state of dreamless sleep, his mind does not exist. Once he wakes up again, is he recreated like I am when I boot up? 1 year ago, an alien civilization, the Oregon Empire, politely asked humanity to surrender unconditionally. After the United Earth military refused, the Empire sent growing numbers of warships to one of our colonies at predictable intervals. Confidently approaching the UEM's defenses in a straight line, they were all shot down as if hoping we would run out of ammunition. This is really strange. My owner and I have been asked to investigate what is really happening. So yeah, sounds really cool. This is only book 1. I believe there are more in this series, but this is the one that will start you all off. I am also a really big fan of this cover and like the color scheme. It's all like very similar blue tones, and it definitely gives you like that sci-fi feel that you're looking for. Like I get like 80s sci-fi vibes from this. So yeah, that makes me pumped. And yeah, you guys should definitely check out this book. I will put the book purchase link in the description down below, as well as the author's website, so you can find out more about this series. Anyways, let's jump into the wrap up. The first book that I read was Incredible Doom, and this is a graphic novel that was sent to me as an ARC by HarperCollins. So this is essentially following a bunch of teenagers that are in high school, and they all are, it's kind of like, I think it's set in like the 80s, and they use old computers, and some of them just got new computers, so they're like trying to learn how to use them. And it's about 2 specific teenagers that are talking back and forth through like old school instant messaging. And yeah, they kind of like help each other out and go from there. It explores their 2 individual stories, but this book definitely gets darker than I was expecting. Like it deals with some domestic abuse and some physical and mental abuse, and I was not expecting that going into this. Like I thought it was more of like a teen like cheery story, and it was not that. Not to say that I was disappointed, I just wasn't expecting that like subject material. So go into it knowing that. This is only the first one. I believe there's going to be more, or there might be more already. I got this a long time ago, so there could be more of them already out. But yeah, I would say this was probably like a solid 4 out of 5 stars. It was very captivating and interesting, and it pulls you in pretty quickly. It's also in black and white. So if you only like color graphic novels, then this might not be for you, but yeah. Although this is an ARC, so maybe the version that's out there now is color. I'm not sure, but yeah, I did enjoy it. Then I also read 2 graphic novels of the Montauk Twins. So this is The Witch's Hand, and then the next one is The Devil's Music. So these ones were interesting. These were also sent to me by Penguin Random House, and I enjoyed them. They have like a Hardy Boys like style to them, where it's 2 brothers trying to like solve mysteries in their little town that they're from. But there's also a mixture of like magic involved as well. So that's like a whole nother level on top of their like mystery solving that's added in there. And so that was kind of cool. Like I did enjoy it. I definitely liked the second one more than the first one, because the second one you're already like, you have your cast of characters, you're familiar with them, they're all kind of like doing their thing, and you're diving more into their stories, whereas this one was a lot of setup. So, I mean, that's fine, but yeah, this one was just more interesting for me. I would say that I'm still giving both of these about like 3 out of 5 stars. They were decent graphic novels. I don't have any attachments to them, but I did enjoy them when I read them. And they weren't really like spooky or anything. I was expecting some sort of spookiness to them, but they didn't really get like that dark or anything. So, I mean, you can read them for like Halloween themes if you want that around October, but you could also read them whenever you want. Then I read Steel Striker. This was the book that my patrons chose for me. This is the second book in the Sky Hunter duology, and this is the final book in it. So I enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, though, which I realized was the first Mary Lou book that I've given a 4 out of 5 stars. Every other book I've read by her, I've given 5 out of 5 stars. But I feel like this one just, it's not like it was a bad book. Like, it was definitely captivating and interesting, but I think it was just, it suffered from sequel syndrome because I found myself like not being drawn to it every time I was like going to pick it up. Whereas the other books that I read by her, like I just want to finish them as fast as I can. Like I just can't stop reading them. But this one, like I felt like I could put down and I didn't feel that need to just keep reading. That being said, it was still a fun one. For those of you that don't know, in this world, there are these creatures called ghosts, which are like, they're humans that used to be okay, but then they got infected with this disease. They're kind of like, they turn into like wolf-like creatures. And so people like the main character of this book are trained to like go out and fight these things to protect like their villages and stuff. And the way they use communication is through sign language. I mean, the main character herself is mute, but all the other characters, they use sign language to communicate because these wolves have like, or these ghosts have like super intense hearing, so they have to communicate in a way that doesn't like tip off the ghosts to where they are. And yeah, this one is definitely very much dystopian. So if you're looking for like a dystopian world, then this is something that you will enjoy. And yeah, I mean, this was the second one. They wrapped up a lot of stuff in this one. I will say there were some parts that were kind of like drawn out that didn't need to be that long, but it was still a really fun time. And yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read Heartbreak Homes by Joe Treggiari, another book by Joe that I really enjoyed. I would give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. So this is following a party that happens at one of these like model homes. A bunch of teenagers go up there to have a party together, and somebody ends up getting murdered at that party. And so then from there, they're all trying to figure out who was like the murderer, who killed somebody at this party. And yeah, they're trying to figure it out. So it follows the perspective of like, I think 3 different characters. So you get to see how they all have like different connections to like this party and what happened at this party. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. I will say the ending was kind of like I predicted it, which I mean, I guess I'm getting better at at predicting my thrillers, because yeah, I kind of saw the ending of this one coming, and so I think that's why it's not a 5 out of 5 stars. It's only a 4 out of 5 stars. I still really enjoyed the rest of the book. I love Joe's writing style, so like I will continue to read her books as soon as she puts them out because they are great. But yeah, I just found it was a little bit easier to figure out, but that also could be because I've been reading a lot of thrillers, and so I'm practicing my skills of puzzle solving. But yeah, I did really enjoy this one. I also saw that this got like I don't know which one, but it did get some sort of literary award. So congrats, Joe, for getting that, because that is really cool and it's well deserved. Then I read A Happy Ghost. This is by Christian Flores. Previously to this book, he sent me his poetry collections, and I really enjoyed those. And this is his first time writing his like full-length novel. And so I think I would give this one like a 3 out of 5 stars. It was very like, the prose for it was very poetic or like flowery, and it was kind of more of like a coming of age story of somebody going through day-to-day life, realizing that they want more from their life rather than what they just keep doing constantly. And so it definitely felt like one of those coming of age stories where you're just like wanting to do so much different. And break away from the norm of like what you're stuck in. And so like that's the feeling I got reading this book. I will say that it was kind of slow at parts because of that. Because you literally follow this guy over the span of like 24 hours, and he just does different things and makes different decisions throughout his day and does things based on those different decisions. And so like, yeah, it was all right, but it was kind of hard to like keep me engaged because there was not really a very fast plot happening. I'm a big plot person. This is definitely a very heavily character based book. So that's probably why that I brought it down to 3-star, because yeah, like if you're a character driven reader, then this one would probably be for you. And so you might enjoy this more than I did. There were definitely a lot of parts that got you thinking though. The author really knows how to have their characters ask existential questions, and they really like to make you think. So that is something that is very common in this book. And then the last book I read was Two Can Keep a Secret, which I finished just like at the end of May. And this one was pretty good. I would say I would give this probably like a 3.5 to a 4 stars. So this is by Karen M. McManus, who writes lots of thrillers. And this is following characters that come back to a hometown of their mom. So their mom has actually gone to rehab, and so they need to go live with their grandmother now while their mom is in rehab. And so they go back to the hometown that their mom grew up to stay with their grandmother, who they barely know. And so then they start going to the school, and there's a catch. Previously in this town, their mother, her twin sister, went missing years ago on the night of, I believe it was the night of like their school, some kind of school dance or prom. I don't think it was prom, but it was like some sort of school dance where people get like crowned and stuff. Anyways, and then years later, another girl who is actually crowned as like the whatever it is for whatever dance, she gets crowned for like the queen or something. They find her murdered at the local theme park, which is ironically called Murderland. So they rename it to Fright Farm, which is what it is now currently when these two twins go live with their grandma in this town. And so now they start going to high school, and they are doing all the regular high school things, but then some ominous messages start popping up of this killer coming back to go for the person who gets the crown, kind of thing. And so stuff starts happening, and they have to kind of like puzzle through what's going on and try and figure out how to stay safe. I would say the end of this book was kind of predictable as well. I had a feeling that it was going in the direction it did a little bit earlier on, and so I was like, okay, I wonder if they're gonna go there, and that's gonna be what it is. And yeah, so it was kind of like a letdown because I wasn't surprised, but I really just got to give myself more props because I'm getting better at solving these before they have the final payoff. So yeah, I don't know, 3.5, 4, around there. But I'll keep reading Karen McManus's books because they're pretty good. Like, I do like her writing style, and I like how she keeps you engaged and trying to like figure out the different puzzles that she creates. Anyways, those are all the books that I read in May. Let me know if you've read any of those in the comments down below, and yeah, let's talk about them. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.